Hello everybody and welcome to Critical Hit Wargaming. Today we're going to be painting some Adepta Sororitas in the Order of the Sacred Rose colours. It's easy enough to paint the black ones, you just spray them black and dry brush them. So today we're going to go for some white armour and we're going to do that in 40 minutes, which is a pretty quick time to get this kind of scheme done. Start by undercoating your model with Corax White. That's going to give us a good white base to paint the rest of the, funnily enough, white armour. Next, grab yourself some Apothecary White contrast paint. This is basically miracle paint over white. It's absolutely fantastic. The reason we're doing the white armour first is because we're going to do some dry brushing once this is dry, and if we painted all the other areas we may accidentally flick some paint all over those areas. So it's easiest just to do this first and then make sure that we're careful with the later stages when we're painting other colours. Next, grab yourself some Corax White, and basically we're going to dry brush up that armour again, because as you'll notice with Apothecary White over the top it's gone a little bit grey. So with a little bit more paint on your brush than you normally would have to dry brush, just carefully dry brush that armour back up to a nice off-white colour. Now up to this point, if you've been following the steps, your model will look something like this. If you get any areas that are particularly chalky where you've been dry brushing them, you can layer them using Corax White and an actual brush. After that, you're going to need white scar, and we're going to repeat the same process we just did, but this time a traditional dry brush, just catching the edges where we can and making the really raised areas and sharp edges stand out. Next, we're going to use Mephiston Red or however you want to pronounce it, but you're going to paint in the inside of all of the cloaks. So that's the inside of the cloth at the back, the inside of the cloth at the front, and then any other areas on the model that need to be red. Just check the box art if you need a reference point. Make sure you're nice and careful when you're painting anywhere near the white you've just done. If you make a mistake, get it off with a little bit of water and then just paint over with Corax White to fix it. Next we're going to switch to a black. I've chosen to use Corvus Black because Corvus Black is actually slightly off black. It's more of a really dark grey, which means when you put a wash on top of it or a shade such as Nuln Oil, it actually does show in the recesses and gives you a slight pre-highlight, which is really helpful. So I'm going to go around and paint all of the vents, all of the tubes that are going around her neck there that you can see, the bolt gun casing around the back of her legs, and most importantly, the front and back of the cloth that's hanging off of her body. Once that's done, it will look something like this. It's starting to really come together now. As I said, you can use Abaddon Black or like a pure black to paint that stage. It really is down to you. It just needs to be a really dark colour. Next we're going to grab Cygor Brown contrast, which is great for getting like a warm brown colour immediately over a light undercoat. So get that all over the gloves and then just run a little bit around the belt. And here's what the belt and the gloves will look like when that Cygor Brown is dried. It's a nice warm brown, really easy to do and really quick. Next we're going to switch to Leadbelcher, and this is to painting quite a lot of the model. So we're going to start by painting the bolt gun. We're going to paint her servo arm or cybernetic or whatever she's got, a Luke Skywalker hand. We're painting it silver. We're also going to paint in all of the iconography and all of the details using silver as well. Ordinarily there'd be gold, but on the Order of the Sacred Rose they're all silver. So be really careful when you're painting the fleur-de-lis and the other icons that you don't overspill onto the white. Now up to this point, this is where you're at. All the silver's done, all the black's done, all the red's done, and we're really on the finishing touches now, just to really bring it together and make it look as decent as we can. Next we're going to crack open some gold, in this case Retributor Armour from Citadel, and we're going to paint in some of the gold iconography. So in this case it's going to be the fleur-de-lis on the bolt gun, and it's going to be the ammunition that you can see in the side of the magazine, and then any other hanging inquisitorial or inquisition icons that you can find, or basically anything else you fancy being gold. Once that's done, it's Nuln Oil time. We're going to use this to shade in pretty much the entire model except the armour. So very carefully go over the icons and all the things that you painted silver with great care and attention, and just be sure that you don't smear it all across your beautiful white armour. Once you've done that, go over all of the black areas and just capture any red detail using some specifically applied shade. Next, use White Scar, which is a pure white, to provide some glow to the helmet lenses, and will provide some colour for them shortly. Next, you'll need Carroburg Crimson, and we're going to use that to just basically put a little blob of that shade into the eye lenses, and that is going to let the white show through the middle and make it look like the eyes are faintly glowing, which is exactly what we want. Now you'll need some Dawnstone, which is like a mid to light grey, and we're going to use that to edge highlight the bolt gun. Now, although this is a speed painting guide and you could forego this step if you wanted to, the aim of this channel, as I've said in a few videos, is to, while speed painting things, also make it look like we haven't actually speed painted them. And just by applying a couple of highlights, we can really make it look like we spent ages on them when we really haven't. So a really quick highlight around the bolt gun and just a really quick highlight over the most raised areas on the cloth will make it look like we spent ages on it when we've only spent 40 minutes on it or thereabouts. And here's what it looks like up till now. A really, really striking colour scheme as far as it goes. Probably my favourite for the Sisters of Battle. If I owned this army myself, this would definitely be the scheme that I would go for. There's a couple more details that we're going to do, but let's be honest, if you stuck this on a table in its current state, it would still look better than 90% of the armies you're going to come across in your local gaming club. But let's do a couple more details and finish it off. To do that, you're going to need Wild Rider Red. I'm just going to give a really, really quick edge highlight to this red. That's going to make it really stand out. It's quite eye-catching, these extreme highlights from a distance, and it really gives the illusion that you've spent ages painting it, which is great. So go around the edge really carefully. You don't have to spend too much time on it. It's a 2-minute job at most. Don't forget to go around the back and look for any folded over flaps of cloth. And here it is finished. A really, really quick scheme as far as painting white goes, as far as painting Sisters of Battle go. This is great for batch painting. Just line them all up, do the Apothecary White stage, and then once it's dry, go back through, do all the red, do all the black, do all the silver, and then it is done. You can get through a squad in a night, maybe 2 nights if it's 10 models, with ease. It's a very simple scheme. Hopefully this video has helped. At any point you can pause it and have a look at what I'm doing. I try to show you exactly what it is I'm painting as I'm going through so that you can follow along and not be overwhelmed by painting models, because it's really not as hard as people make it out to be. Some great guides out there on how to do a better job if you want to do more detail with more techniques. And you can find them if you look for them. However, if you want to keep it simple, keep it quick while still having good models, then this is the video and this is the channel for you. So please do like, subscribe, let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see, and I will endeavour to make it for you. Thanks very much.